guys, welcome to the 6th episode of Scientific Brains Unite. We are going to be changing it up a little bit. We are going to be off-site and we're going to be looking at forces in motion through sports. You're going to see some people you know along the way. I have my best friend Amanda here, and we're going to be doing some tennis with you to begin with. Let's go. The third law of motion states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. When a tennis player applies turning force to their hips when serving, an equal and opposite force applied to their trunk powers their swing.
Thank you, baby.
15:30.
Good job. Bad luck. Left.
After the ball is hit, inertia keeps the ball moving in a constant direction, while gravity pulls the ball downwards to the ground. Once the ball hits the ground, friction acts as the unbalanced force and slows the ball down to a stop. Newton's second law states that objects with more mass require more force to move. An example of Newton's second law in football is tackling. The more inertia and mass the object has that is moving the other object, and the less friction the object that is being moved has on the ground will make it easier to move. So think about a running back or a tight end or even a wide receiver. The more inertia they have, they are going to be harder to tackle because they have the momentum to going forward.
Hey, 7th grade. Mr. Myers asked me if I could film a video showing you some stuff with soccer related to force and motion. So first, I'm going to dribble the soccer ball. Second, I'm going to shoot the ball straight on. And third, I'm going to curve or bend the ball, bend it like Beckham. Have you seen that movie? So here we go. Here I am dribbling. If I give more force, it goes further out in front. Here I am shooting the ball straight on. And the last one is bending the ball, or like a curveball in baseball.
The law of inertia is at play here as Jakari is dribbling the ball. It is where an object is in motion and tends to stay in motion unless an external force acts upon it, such as the ball hitting the ground and bouncing back up. As you'll see in this clip, Adelaide's momentum takes her forward and makes her fall.
Hey, what's up everybody? Mr. Myers tells me that Scientific Minds Unite this week is on the topic of force and motion, and he had the idea of using baseball and softball as an example of force and motion. So today we're going to work on Sophie's pitching a little bit. It's really important that when she is pitching that she pushes off her right foot. Sophie, why is it important that you push off your right foot?
So it's important that I push off my foot because it gives me a lot of momentum and power to put into the ball, and it adds a little bit of speed and movement on the ball as well.
That's right. Yeah, it's one of Newton's laws actually, that you're looking for an equal or opposite reaction. So the harder we push this way, the more we're going to be propelled in that direction. So I'm going to give her the ball. Let's see what she can do. So in softball, a lot like baseball, once a pitcher puts the ball in flight or in motion, it's going to continue in motion until it's acted upon by a force. A catcher's mitt has a lot of padding on it because typically you're going to get a ball coming pretty quick, and this is the force that's going to stop that motion. So when we think about force and motion, we also think about the practice of hitting in baseball and softball. A player is going to have a bat. That bat's got a certain amount of weight to it. The more weight and the more speed that bat comes through with, the greater the force, and therefore the further the ball can go. So we're going to take a look and see if Sophie can make some good contact and maybe put some force into the softball.
Newton's third law is in action when swimming. Swimmers must stroke downward in the water to stay afloat and to propel themselves forward.
Whenever we lift weights, we are exerting force against the barbell. In physics, we measure force using Newton's second law of motion via the equation force equals mass times acceleration. Or put differently, force is equal to mass multiplied by acceleration. To generate more force, we either increase mass or acceleration, or both.
Sprinters come out of the block so they can accelerate to maximum velocity in a short amount of time and maintain the highest velocity possible for the rest of the race. Because sprinting races are relatively short, average speed is not as accurate as with distance because the acceleration phase in sprints is much more prevalent than in distance events.
Hey everybody, my name's Lincoln, and this is a 58-degree sand wedge. Hey everybody, it's Lincoln again, and this is a 12-degree driver. Let's blast it.
Did you say blast? You can't hit it over the field.
Newton's second law is in play during golf. Force equals mass times acceleration. When a golf club carries an unbalanced force, it carries a change in velocity. Change in velocity is acceleration. The greater the force applied to the golf ball, the greater the acceleration. Newton's first law is at play during boxing. The boxers will be at their position, which is balanced. Then when the fighter gets punched, it sends a new force and makes them off balance.
Alright guys, that's the last of Scientific Brains this week. I hope you have a good week. We'll see you next week. I'm going to keep punching. Hope you have a good week.